Hi, I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio, and welcome to the Mayors Roundtable, a semi-roundtable, intelligent conversation bringing you, the citizens of Berkeley Heights, current information with our mayor, Robert Woodruff. Mayor, again, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Doc.
It is your roundtable, but a lot's been going on since our last meeting. And, you know, the meetings are, the roundtables are filmed live right here in City Hall, the third Thursday of every night, 6:45, on the third Thursday of every month, so come on down. But since our last show, a lot's been happening. We have some really interesting things with redevelopment, with the affordable housing, with what's going on with the streets in town, and some development in the downtown area. So let's start with the redevelopment, because I know that's pretty important for most people, and then we'll get to everything else. Where do we stand?
Okay, Doc. Well, we're in a position right now where within the next week we should have a real firm timetable, which is going to address the issue of when the council will receive the recommendations or the position of the town planner and vote on that and send it to the planning board, both as to what is being built here, as well as that which is being built on Hamilton. They are specifically as follows, and I have some notes here so that I'm correct as to what I state. The first reading of the ordinance for the redevelopment plan for this complex will be on May 24th. There'll be a bit of an overview provided to the public when they come in that night, so they'll have an idea. They'll
24th of
May.
Okay, so it's very timely.
Right, and they will get that both from our planner and or our architect. It'll give them some ideas. And just briefly, our architect has been crunching some numbers. As of right now, we have a bigger building than we intended to have, which is good. We had some needs we had to address, and we're also being able to do it for about $300,000 less.
Wow, how did that happen?
Well, I think, I guess just a real sharp pencil.
Sharpened pencil.
Sharp pencil.
Great. We like that. We like sharp pencils.
So what happened there is a good thing. It was tentatively going to cost us in excess of $27 million. We're now just a shade under 27, so there's maybe a $300,000 difference, which is good. Now that plan, once the town council deals with it, it will then go to the planning board for a hearing. That is scheduled for June 1st.
Okay.
June 1st, the planning board. It's open to the public.
It's a week apart.
It's a week apart, correct. Okay. So we set a meeting up so the planning board can hear it. Our planner will go to the planning board, township planner, Mr. Mastretta, and he will present to them what we intend to do for this property. It will then come back to the council for a second reading of the ordinance and to approve it. That will be done on the 14th of June.
All right.
Okay. Likewise, and we're trying to keep these on somewhat parallel tracks, if you would, with respect to the Hamilton Avenue project, which is otherwise known as the Little Flower School. Okay. On June 23rd, we hope to, or excuse me, June 28th will be the first reading of the ordinance for Hamilton. Okay, and it will then be referred to the planning board, same kind of process. All right, the planning board will have it sometime in early July, we're not sure, but sometime in early July. And then there'll be a second meeting back to the council, a second meeting of the Hamilton to approve the Hamilton redevelopment plan. Now, once that is done, it then goes out to what is generally known as RFQs and RFPs, meaning you request for qualifications to contract.
Bidding, basically.
Well, not yet. And then it goes to request for proposals. So what happens is whatever group of contractors wish to get involved in this, they'll have the plans as to what we want. Okay, this is what we want, both here and in Hamilton. Now, obviously, in order for that to occur, we need control of the Hamilton property.
Sure.
So, and that is working its way towards finalization. We hope to be able to have the planning board approve it, but in order for them to approve it, there must be an exchange of the deed first. So that the deed goes from Little Flower, to us, in which case then they're deeded over the library property.
Got it. So the swap's got to come to fruition before we can develop it, essentially.
That's absolutely correct.
What we're saying, but we got to make sure it's all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, so when it's time to develop, it's go, and it's not, okay, what do we do next?
That's correct. And we'd like to see the RFQ and RFPs for the end of the summer. And the bidding process, which you're talking about, could very easily occur in the fall.
Right. So RFQs to RFPs, that's when you write down all the details of what you're looking for the contractor to do and to achieve. You have to have this, you have to meet these requirements if you're going to bid. Is that what that means?
Correct. In other words, we may get qualifications that our planner might say, I don't think this group's qualified to do this. It's too big a deal, and so on and so forth. Now, one of the reasons we want to parallel it is, again, because of the deed issue.
Sure.
Okay, but the second, and perhaps most important, is if they're parallel, then that allows for a contractor or contractors to bid on both.
Oh, nice.
Which may result in us getting a break because they only have to do things once.
Sure.
Okay, that's once with lawyers, once with having to appear in front of various boards. So there's a lot of things that can be done. So we're trying to do the best to get the best deal for us.
And if you're doing them parallel at the same time, does our affordable housing fit into that?
Well,
or not quite yet?
No, it does to the extent, and that obviously the Hamilton property is going to afford us possibly anywhere from 80 to 100 units.
Oh, nice.
15% of which you can do the math. Okay, so. That certainly helps, and when we're dealing with the affordable housing matters that we're in, and we'll get into that shortly, that's just another brick in the load. But it's really at the back end.
Okay.
But it gives us, again, it really allows us a lot of flexibility then in dealing with the developers, because we believe we're going to meet a lot of these numbers, and you don't want to be dealing from a position of weakness with these developers, and I don't mean that derogatorily to the developers, but I mean if they can take advantage of a situation, they're going to do it.
Sure, that's their job.
That's their job.
They got to run a business
right.
as well.
So we need to be prepared for that, and I think we are. Things are going pretty well. So to that extent, and then we also have along that line we can work our way into the affordable housing, but Connell. Up at the Connell project.
Okay, sure.
The hotel is scheduled to be done sometime.
Tell me a little bit about that hotel, because I saw something in the paper about that, and I thought over here it was going to be at the Kings, but no, it's down on Connell. It's going to be quite a bigger structure.
It's approximately about 175, 177 rooms.
Nice. One for you and one for me, and top floor penthouse,
That to get around.
Production suite. No, we're only kidding. We're only kidding.
It's going to have a first-class a first-class restaurant. It's going to have a Starbucks.
Nice.
They're scheduled tentatively to open in December. I'm sure they would like to have opened sooner, but they had some steel issues and some construction issues early on that they had no control over. But they are moving very, very quickly now. They will also obviously are entitled to a liquor license as a hotel, which does not hook up to the town's allocation. It's
really?
A separate,
but
the town controls it.
Interesting.
So it's a nice.
So does that mean we get a little bit? Is that what it means?
It means we get a little bit.
It means we get a little bit. We like that.
We get whatever we believe is a fair figure, and that will be for the town to determine. So that is again.
And do you have a management company with the hotel who's going to be overseeing it?
Well, my understanding is that the Connells are basically running it, but they are bringing in a management group.
Got it. Okay.
They are bringing in a management group.
Yeah.
Which segues us to the affordable housing. And there's never a dull moment with affordable housing.
Because we had that potential lawsuit, maybe they're going to assign, the judge was going to investigate the affordable housing status in one town last time we talked.
That's correct.
Who was the lucky town?
The first town, I believe, was Scotch Plains or Fanwood, if I'm not mistaken, but no matter which one it was, that's settled, and the next town up is Springfield. Now, Springfield is scheduled to go to a hearing.
Okay.
We are taking steps to assure that we are an intervener, meaning
amicus curiae, is that what it is?
Well, what you do is basically say, look, there are decisions here that are going to impact us. We have a right to be in the courtroom.
Got it. So
we and the courts indicate they will allow that. So we're trying to address that really within, as we speak. Perhaps I think tomorrow is our motion. But at the same time, as you recall, Doc, the fair share housing people first came at our town with a figure of excess of 800 units,
right? Say that.
And that got everybody's attention, and that really got us off the snide, and off we went. Well, they've come back and they've indicated, well, it's not 800, it's really 500 and something.
Okay.
So they've come down substantial, which right away, being the cynic that I am about all this, I say, well, if you're that far off the first time, how far off are you this time? So that has only really steeled our resolve to to be aggressive in dealing with this, and we think we're doing it at a lot of levels, and leading to my next point, and that is we've entered into two memorandums of understanding with both the King's property and with the Locust property.
All right.
I want to commend our planner, Mike Mistretta, as well as John Basicolo, have worked very hard with the representatives of those two places. The King's property, the Locust property will be 55 and older.
Okay.
And down at King's, we're looking at about 150 units.
Wow.
With amenities downstairs and most of the parking within the structure itself. So again,
that'll be nice, because there is a parking issue in the downtown area.
Yes, there is, and that's something else we're going to have to look at some time, is to see whether or not our current ordinances are really what we need right now. I don't know how long they've been on the books, and maybe if this town some things are happening, maybe we need to reevaluate them. In addition, most people will probably be happy to hear this, the movie theater. Our representatives, Mr. Mistretta, Mr. Basicolo, are having discussions with Dr. Fan on the movie theater, and
discussions are good, so things are happening. Maybe.
Yeah, early reports are that they're positive discussions, and that's a good thing. So that's
we're looking at retail there. We're looking at housing there. A mix. Okay.
Mix, and with really cleaning up the front.
That would be nice.
And getting us. Otherwise, our budget has been passed. We have to wait the 20 days or so until it becomes official. We stayed under the cap, which is all we can do since it's the requirement of the governor. Taxes will go up maybe right around an average of $60 for a house that's assessed at $305,000.
Okay.
Assessed, not value, but assessed. So, and the roads, we're back on the roads program. I'm happy to report.
We don't need the hot box in the summertime. We don't need the hot box.
The following streets have been milled this week: Janet Lane, Sutton, Regent, Hampton, Whitney, Wheaton, and Old Forge Lane.
Nice.
And of equal importance is the state. We had some discussions earlier about the Snyder being done from all the way up, and that money is come in from the state. So we just need some documents and things to be fit there. We should be all set. That should be in June or July. I think that'll be finished.
We got a lot going on, Mayor.
Yeah, we got
a lot going on, but it was good information.
Yeah.
I think they're moving quickly with the redevelopment, which is nice. Hopefully we'll see some nice changes with that basically by September. And hopefully we'll be going looking good there, and the downtown area, the Kings area, and the new hotel. So some nice tax ratables are coming into town as well.
Yep.
A little bit of a facelift. And I hear 308, 312 Springfield Avenue is going to be done within the next few months. So another nice building.
That's looking better, Doug.
Yeah, little by little, it's getting there.
That's looking better.
Well, that was great as always. Any questions for the mayor? Send them in. You can send them in via Bobby Peer at Tap Into or directly to the mayor, and we'll be happy to answer them. But we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we have our municipal guest, Tom McAndrews, tonight. Is that correct?
That's correct. Tom's the head of our wastewater management down at the sewer plant, and Tom's with us a couple years now. He's doing a tremendous job, and I wanted to give him a chance, like we have our other department heads, to come in and just talk a little bit about what they do.
Exactly. It's all about bringing information to you. For the Mayor's Roundtable, I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio with the Mayor, Robert Woodruff. We'll be right back. Coming up to that time of year, Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a really important day where we honor our veterans, our fallen veterans, as well as the ones who've served. Ted Ramalkoff, former mayor of Berkeley Heights, you have a really big project coming up and a really big rededication on May 30th of this year. Tell me about it.
Yeah, the Township Council passed an ordinance creating a committee to rebuild the memorial. We've been working on it for about a year and a half, and at this point in time we anticipate everything will be completed on May 30th. We have a new wall, new walkways, a new tree, 25-foot Norway spruce, new lighting, new benches, everything is brand new. And we intend to honor those 8 men who died in World War II who were from Berkeley Heights, along with all the other veterans who served from Berkeley Heights on that day. So it should be a really special occasion. And in part of that occasion will be the handing out of challenge coins that we had engraved for all the veterans who will be there, who will attend. and even for those who don't attend. The ones we know are from Berkeley Heights.
Very nice. And it's a great day, Memorial Day. It reminds us what America's really about and what founded our values and what got us here today. But you know, this doesn't happen alone, Ted. This happens through support of the community. Now, how can people show their support for the Memorial Park rededication?
Well, they could go to our website, which is bhmemorialpark.com, or they can send a check to the Town Hall, care of the Town Hall, 29 Park Avenue, Berkeley Heights. We've already had close to a couple hundred residents and businesses who have donated in-kind services, all the way from $1 to over $10,000. So we're very pleased with the results so far, and we're getting close to our goal, and we're hoping that the public will support us so that we can complete the balance of funds needed.
Sounds like a plan to me. Support the park, support our veterans, and get out the checkbook. I'm Dr. Donald DeFable with Ted Romankoff. Ted, thank you very much for doing this for our veterans.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show. It's the Mayors Roundtable with our guest for this show, the superintendent of the sewer system, Mr. Tom McAndrew. Tom?
Doc, thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mayor, I think you know this gentleman.
Yes, we do. And Tom, as I said, Tom has taken over down there, and we're going great guns. The people
great water is really what we're looking for,
let me
Tom.
just say this.
I'm telling you right now, we want great water. Can I drink it? That's all I want to know.
What people need to know is it's 24/7.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
365. Nothing ever slows down there. So just keep that in, all of us in town, keep that in mind.
I know you have some very important information for us to help us, help you, help us. But speaking of that 24/7, what happens in like Sandy? What happens when there's an emergency, a power shortage or something? How do we make sure we don't run into problems?
Everything is built in redundancy in the wastewater industry. That's pretty much common across the board. Berkeley Heights is set up consistent with those standards and practices. So when you do have pumps go down, equipment failures, this sort of thing, there are redundant backups, so you don't have that sort of issue. Everything is backed up with emergency power generators, so we do have generation systems at all the pump stations and at the treatment plant. So it's not, we are dependent on the utility, obviously. JCP&L is our friend. We do use electricity, but in the event of storms, even something that's not as substantial as a Hurricane Sandy or a Hurricane Irene,
Power outages, yeah.
the thunderstorm that knocks the power out, we have the emergency generators.
I would think so, but it's comforting to know.
Oh, yeah.
It's comforting
Absolutely.
to know.
Absolutely.
So at the treatment plant, you're running all the time.
24/7,
What are some of the
365.
problems that you run into? Is there a commonality of some of the problems that you run into?
Regarding
Either
the
plant
operational,
or their sewer systems or the drains in town? Are there common
Okay.
problems we run into?
the common instances that we have for service disruptions are homeowner based. The grease and oils that are used in cooking and that sort of thing end up going down the sink. They coagulate and solidify in the pipes, and over a period of time will cause blockages.
In their own line going to the street, or even
Actually,
down
no, out into the sewer pipes.
into the sewer pipes?
Yes.
How big are those sewer pipes in the street?
The minimum size is 8 inches.
8 inches, okay.
The largest we have in town is 24 inches.
Wow. Okay.
Those are the main ones that lead back to the treatment plant.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that what the industry calls fog, fats, oil, and greases, are recyclable. Whether it be engine oil that you've changed in your car, right down to cooking grease that's retained from the process of cooking. It is recyclable, and it can be brought down to the DPW garage, the Department of Public Works garage, for recycling. And that is the proper disposal method. To pour it down the sink, it will create a service interruption and a hardship for you, your neighbors.
And cost.
Absolutely cost.
Because we're all about, like the mayor was saying, it's the same button.
Of course,
keep
Tommy,
costs down.
you and I were talking a while ago about homeowners who necessarily understand where roof drains and sump pumps differ from that which they're flushing toilets and otherwise. Talk a little bit about that.
In the municipality of the Township of Berkeley Heights, there are two distinct separate infrastructures. One is the sanitary sewer system that handles the biological waste, the byproducts, your showering, your cooking, washing the dishes, obviously going into the men's or ladies' room. That sort of thing comes down the sanitary sewer system pipes to the treatment plant. There is a storm drain system that handles rain runoff. A common instance is that homeowners will or have a contractor hook up a sump pump, a roof drain, downspout, leaders, that sort of thing. And this is clean water that is now being integrated with dirty water. It is becoming polluted with the dirty water, becoming dirty water, increasing the volume. If you look at the cost per gallon of treating sanitary waste, you're now increasing that gallonage, increasing the cost to the municipality, to yourselves as taxpayers in what you pay for taxes by doing this.
That's a good take home to make sure your sub pumps and your leaders
Absolutely.
aren't going into the sewer system.
Absolutely.
Keep them going into the storm drains.
That's correct.
Tom,
That is correct.
on the sump pump, I'm assuming that's a violation of a town ordinance if you do that.
Yes, sir, it is.
No, that's a
That is
true
correct.
attorney.
Got to be a law
that is
somewhere
correct.
involved here. Tom, how do we handle, because generally speaking, one would think that restaurants are significant manufacturers of greases, with their cooking. How do we handle dealing with restaurants?
We do have township ordinances, Mr. Mayor, regarding grease and grease accumulation and grease traps. We have implemented a grease trap inspection program, sampling and enforcement of such. Every industrial and or commercial establishment that has or is required to have a grease trap is inspected at least once a year and sampled and notified of any violations.
Very nice. And we're talking grease, we're talking if you were just frying up some chicken in your house, that little extra oil. We're
That's
not
correct.
necessarily talking the 5 gallons of oil from the turkey. We're talking those little accumulations of oil and fats as well.
Little or large, they
Yeah,
all
so
create
wipe
the same
out those
problem.
pans with
Absolutely.
a paper towel or pour them into a can and bring it.
A metal can, not a plastic or paper can, please.
And where do they bring it again?
The fire chief will not be very happy with me.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be the Department of Public Works Road Garage,
Okay.
which is right down the street here. They're open from 6:30 to 3, Monday through
Do
Friday.
you have to separate motor oil from food oil, or is it just oil is oil? Do you know?
That I'm not sure of. I couldn't speak intelligently on that, so I don't know.
Tommy, let me ask you this. You spoke about a program that we're going to try and institute this summer, an inspection cleaning program. What's
Yes.
that about? So the people, if they see you around town, they're going to know what's going on.
We are, the township has purchased some new technology, some new equipment to better enable us to be compliant with EPA, which is the Federal Environmental Protection Agency. They mandate that the sewer system, the sanitary sewer system, be cleaned on a 1 to 5 year cycle. Now, keeping in that, not every sewer pipe resides under the asphalt. There are easements out there that are in backyards, side yards, through wooded areas. This equipment is going to help us to better maintain this area. So yes, the folks are going to see the trucks and the video equipment out and about, just cleaning and inspecting, looking for deficiencies within the piping system and looking for areas that we need to correct. That's another area that the other side of the homeowner issue where you have inflow, this is what they call infiltration. So you have I&I, industry standard terms. But yes, we certainly welcome any residents that see us, that wish to come out and say hello, ask a few questions. But keep in mind that safety is a priority, that this is equipment, and it can be rather dangerous. So please keep your distance so that nobody gets hurt.
Is there a possibility that we will be, in some instances, crossing or going on to individuals' properties to gain access to some of these locales?
Through these easements, yes. Yes.
Okay, and are we going to be able to give the public some kind of notice? How are we going to handle that? Has that been discussed?
We will look into making sure that there is some sort of notification. The other thing to keep in mind with these easements, one of the problems we run into is a township right-of-way easement is for the utility, and permanent structures such as swimming pools, sheds, that sort of thing will create a hardship, especially if we have to go in and do any kind of major maintenance on a particular piece of piping, where backhoes and digging up and that sort of process comes into effect. You know, and a jungle gym swing set, shed, swimming pool is set on top of the pipe area, that could be a major inconvenience or hardship for the homeowner.
So be careful if you do have easements that you don't put anything on. Then if you check your easements from your deed when you bought your house, because if you did put something there, you may have to look into getting it moved, because ultimately you're going to come out and check it.
Correct.
You know, I would add, and Tom mentioned the EPA and what have you, I don't think there is any of our departments that are under stricter scrutiny than Tom's department, not only on a state but federal level. I mean,
That's
they're
correct,
coming
sir.
at you from every direction, and if there are violations, the fines and the penalties are significant. Yeah. They really are, and so it's a job that you've got to stay on top of. And if we slip, and it can happen, it can happen. These fines are not minor.
No, sir.
Okay, and we have to develop a relationship with Trenton. Okay, so you've got to say, look, can you ease up a little bit? I mean, they need to show. You need to show them that you're proactive.
Yeah.
Which I think that we've become under Tom, and that's important.
Well, that sounds great. Well, Tom, a wealth of information. We appreciate you coming out, our superintendent of our sewer system and plant. Mayor, a lot of things are going on with the redevelopment, affordable housing, development in town, which is always great to see. And I want to remind everybody to trade with the downtown businesses, because without a downtown business, there will be no downtown business. So keep some of your business local. For the Mayors Roundtable, I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio with our guest, Tom McAndrew, and our host, Mayor Robert Woodruff. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to hearing from you, and see you on the next show. Have a good night.